Today I'd like to provide an overview of a math lesson that was designed to introduce and help students master the concept of elapsed time. This lesson incorporated the instructional strategy known as direct instruction. With direct instruction, the teacher provides explicit, carefully structured, and planned instruction that helps students achieve mastery of a concept or skill. The lesson was focused and created on a group of elementary level students who have specific learning disabilities in the areas of math calculation and math problem solving and would receive math instruction within a learning support classroom. In that classroom, they'd receive small group direct instruction. Now, in regards to elapsed time, direct instruction is a great strategy for helping students master this concept. And it's one strategy that not only requires a teacher to physically model using an elapsed time pocket chart or even an elapsed time ruler, which students could have handy in their desk, but it also requires the teacher to be modeling the thought process that goes into determining elapsed time. So one example might be giving students a start time of 6 o'clock and an end time of 8:30. Students would first have to identify the start time on the timeline and then recognize their end time. Once students have done that, which is based on their background knowledge of time, then it's time to really get into calculating or determining the amount of time that's passed between these two events. As the teacher, I would help students to first think about counting the hours that exist, the full hours in between the two times that they were given. From 6 to 7 is 1 hour. From 7 to 8 is 2 hours. And as the teacher is modeling on the timeline, the students are physically using their elapsed time ruler as well, moving the arrows to the start and the end time, and then simply using their finger to count from time to time. With elapsed time, after we figured out the hours, then it's time to go into determining the minutes. So wherever the students left off, they can start counting the minutes from there. On the elapsed time pocket chart, students only have the hours and the half hours marked. The advantage to letting them use an elapsed time ruler is that they can see each individual marker counts as 5 minutes. So if they can count by fives, they're able to determine the amount of time that exists between the ending time of our hours and the actual ending time that we're searching for. From 8 o'clock, where we left off, to 8:30 would be 30 minutes or a half an hour. So altogether, students would then record on a chart that there were 2 hours and 30 minutes that passed between 6 o'clock and 8:30. Now, as the teacher, I would have students complete many more examples with me as I'm modeling. So they would simply be listening, watching, and physically using their elapsed time ruler to follow along with me. I provide several examples until I feel that students are actually grasping the concept a little bit, and then I would have students start either doing some guided practice where maybe they could come up to the elapsed time chart and practice, or even just focusing on their own elapsed time rulers, have them start working independently. And when they start to work independently and completing their chart, I'd have them do one problem at a time. So after they've all completed it, we would review together using the elapsed time pocket chart to make sure that they understood how to calculate the hours first and then the minutes that remained, and how to rephrase that elapsed time in terms of the hours and the minutes. Once students have a good grasp on elapsed time, then I would really take advantage of a lot of the resources that exist on the internet. There are lots of smartboard lessons that can provide individual practice or teachers could create to help students practice using elapsed time. And it's also a great way that teachers can incorporate direct instruction as well. Another great thing that students can do is find online quizzes where they can actually use the thought process and the physical models that we used on the elapsed time rulers and helping themselves to tackle their own problems with elapsed time. And as the teacher, I would hope that students doing independent work on the first day could achieve around 80% accuracy. If they're not achieving that, then I'd want to sit down with them again and maybe review the concept a little bit more on one-to-one basis, or even in a small group again. And I'm really hoping that through a lot of modeling and the direct instructional practice that students would be successful. The use of the manipulatives like the pocket chart or even the elapsed time ruler, can also be very beneficial in helping students to achieve success in mastering elapsed time. So hopefully these strategies will be helpful for you in incorporating direct instruction into your next lesson that introduces elapsed time. Good luck!